Hello, Marly. Could you please just introduce yourself real quick for the audience, your name, pronouns, department, and how long you've been at Miami?
Sure. I'm Marly Wooster. I use the she, her, and hers pronouns. I am in my 5th year here at Miami. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Theater. I like to say that I'm a lighting designer and stage manager by training and trade, and that is a lot of what I teach here at Miami. But I also teach intro to theater, the new first year class for theater majors, CCA 111, creativity, innovation, and design thinking. So I teach a lot of things outside of my specialty areas too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what first drew you to Miami?
I love the liberal arts. So I went to a small liberal arts college myself, and I loved the ways that I made connections between my Western Civ class and the theater history class I was taking at the same time, and the way that my human anatomy and physiology class like played into the acting class that I was taking at the time. And I just love I love the synergy of the way that things come together. And so the theater department at Miami is so lucky because we have faculty that are specialized, right? Like I'm a lighting designer. That's what I do. And most liberal arts programs don't get to have a lighting designer on their faculty because their faculty is like 3 or 4 people big. So it for me was this perfect mesh of I can do and teach the things that I love inside of the theater, inside of my specialty. And I'm also working with students who are doing that same putting together, synthesizing of this vast sort of fields of information. So that's what I loved about Miami.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
I still love it. It's not past tense. That's what I still love about Miami. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you already touched on what classes you teach, but which classes would you say are kind of your favorite to instruct?
Oh my God, it's always changing. I love teaching Theater 107, which is the theater major. It's UNV 101 for theater majors, but theater had it first, so it has a different number. And I love teaching that class because I get to interact with UAs who had the class the year before and with all of the new first years. And so the class is constantly evolving because of student input about what would make it better and more useful. And I just love community building, and that's really what we focus on in that class. So I love teaching 107. I love teaching CCA 111. Honestly, I learned something new about design thinking and about my own design process every time I teach that class. And I feel like I'm finally at a point where I'm really good at teaching that one. So I like to teach that. But there's not a class I teach that I don't really like. I'm doing a new class this semester on choreography, collaboration, and design. And it's a blast. I'm team teaching it with Ashley Ghost, who's a visiting person here in theater, teaching primarily dance. And we're having a blast. Like the students are awesome. So yeah, there's not really anything I teach I don't like to teach. So I'm lucky that way.
Great to hear. What would you say is the most interesting project that you've ever taught?
That's okay. So the last time I taught lighting design here at Miami, the array of students I had in the class were like students who had designed 3 productions here at Miami to students who had never hung a light, like was teaching the gamut. And so I had this project that I called the Real World Design Project, where students got to choose sort of what kind of project they wanted to tackle. And the idea there was to sort of allow everyone to challenge themselves based on where they were, right? So I had students who designed full productions. And then I had students who like designed for a piece of music in our light lab. But then I had students who did things like create specifications for a bar uptown that wanted to add a performance space. And so they sort of served as a lighting consultant for this space about what kinds of lights and what kind of design they might do in that room. And then I had students do like, yeah, sort of other versions of things like that, right? So it really spanned the gamut, and it was a really, really cool project
Yeah.
for students to work on. Yeah, I think that's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Um, so do you have any interesting stories from being a professor or any like surprising outcomes from any of your classes?
Oh, hmm. That's a really good question. I'm always super pleased when out of things like um, CCA 111 or my intro to theater class, students decide that they want to pursue something, right? So when I teach Theater 101 and the students add the minor or come audition to come do something with us, I'm always sort of pleasantly surprised, right? Like it's always the goal. Like the goal is always to sort of inspire people to love the things that I love. But it's always really fulfilling when it actually happens. And I
Yeah.
think in 111, it's always when students are like, I didn't think I was creative coming into this class. I didn't think I had creative capacity. And now I understand that everyone is creative and that I have these tools to help myself tap into that. And now I want to pursue creativity in my work in a way that I didn't think I wanted to before. And it's always like the accountants, right? Who you're like, yes, like, yay, your life will be so much more fulfilling because you realize that you have this potential, right? And that it is such a vital part of what being human is about. And you're not stuck in a box that tells you that you can't be creative or artistic, right? You get to
Yeah.
pursue those things too. So I think those are I don't they're not surprising, but they're really important and they always like they're why I teach and they don't always happen, right? Not every student
Yeah.
walks out of CCA 111 with that realization, but the ones that do, it's special. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Joseph?
Yeah, I think so. I think that that's a really good point, and it really tells us a lot about why things like the creative arts are very important for us as people. So outside of teaching, what things interest you, and are you working on any cool projects right now?
Sure. So I actually just wrapped a research study about collaboration and the Herman brain dominance instrument. It's a little small pilot study that I did with the Independent Artist Series this year. I'm fascinated by collaboration. I'm fascinated by how people understand their own tendencies and how our self-understanding and our understanding of others helps us better communicate, which makes us better collaborators. And we've been using HBDI across the university, but particularly in CCA 111 and in Theater 107. Maybe that's why I like those classes, because I get to delve into these things that tie into the research that I'm doing. So anyway, with the Independent Artist Series, I used two of the teams. They agreed, they knew what was happening, but to sort of study how utilizing HBDI as a pre-production tool to help a team better understand themselves and others, how that might impact their collaboration. And so I have a presentation on that at the United States Institute of Theater Technology, the big conference for designers and stage managers is happening in March. It always happens in March. And it's all digital this year, which is really cool. So I have a presentation about that that's coming up really soon, which is really fun. So I'm excited to sort of expand. I don't know what the next iteration of that research is at this moment in time, but I know I'm going to continue thinking about HBDI and collaboration and how they go together. Yeah, the next big project over here in the theater department is a play that is still to be titled, but its working title is the Climate Change Theater Action. And we're getting started. It'll be an outdoor extravaganza, lots of site-specific work, all about climate change, which I think will be really cool. So
Very exciting, very exciting. That's my last question. So do you have anything else that you want to say for the benefit of our ethereal audience?
I can make an announcement.
Yeah.
Anyone is welcome in the theater department. We want all students, well, and faculty and staff. We welcome all people. You don't have to be a major, you don't have to be a minor, you don't have to be taking classes with us. If there's something inside of the theater that interests you, whether it's lighting design or acting or dance, we want you to get involved, and we want you to be a part of our community. So sometimes I hear so often from students that they're like, oh, I thought I had to be a major. You don't. So if you're watching this interview, you don't. Come play with us. We would love that.